Today is a great privilege and a pleasure to welcome to RAF Coningsby Vera, the Canadian Lancaster. It's going to be the first time in over 50 years that we're going to see Lancasters flying information over the skies of Britain. Very special day. I think there are probably three things that BBMF does for us. One is it's the nation's way of saluting an extraordinary generation. The second thing, it reminds us about war and how we need to work hard to prevent war and to cherish peace. And lastly, it's about inspiration, to inspire today's generation by remembering the feats of those extraordinary generations that have gone before.
Hi, I'm Andy Dobson. I'm a pilot from the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum in Hamilton, Canada. I'm part of the Lancaster crew that's bringing the Lancaster all the way from Canada across the Atlantic to join up with the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Lancaster that you can see behind me. Later today, our Lancaster should be arriving from Keflavik in company with the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight aircraft, and we're looking forward to seeing it land here for the first time in over 50 years. Flying the Lancaster is a real honor and a privilege to be able to fly one of the two serviceable Lancasters in the world today. Being a 70-year-old aircraft, it's a real challenge for our maintenance staff and volunteers to keep it in the air and keep it as a memorial, a living flying memorial to the crews that flew it during the wartime over 70 years ago. Our Lancaster will be flying along with the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Lancaster and some of the fighters in more than 20 air shows over the next 6 weeks all over Britain.
Hi, I'm David Hills with Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum from Canada, and behind me we have both of the world's flying Lancaster bombers, one of which has just flown in from Iceland, Goose Bay and Hamilton, Ontario. We've been hoping to do a mass flypast with the Royal Air Force Lancaster bomber, a Spitfire Hurricane, and even the Red Arrows, but unfortunately due to a little bit of a typical British weather, we weren't able to get it in. There was a major thunderstorm moving through, and the Lancaster just did a straight-in approach, right into Coningsby, and then was towed in.
first display that we did, the first full display, was a nervous moment for me because we hadn't seen it before clearly. I was supervising it from the tower at RAF Coningsby, and I said to the guys afterwards, it's very difficult to describe. I've been operating with these aeroplanes for 6 years now, and I've been displaying for a lot longer than that. I've never seen anything that struck me quite as much as that display did, of seeing the two fighters escorting the Lancasters. It seemed absolutely right, and to see the two aircraft in the sky together for the first time in over 50 years really was phenomenal.
In the evening, the first sortie, we flew with fighters and the two Lancasters. It was fantastic. The weather was perfect. It was completely serene and calm, and sitting watching these two enormous World War II bombers with their engines turning, it was just an amazing thrill and a fantastic opportunity. Flying fighters on the BBMF, or having the privilege of flying any World War II aeroplane, is quite extraordinary, and they're just utterly beautiful machines. They're fantastically maintained by our engineers, and they are quite literally a joy to fly.
Coming to Waddington today is incredibly special, not only because we're getting these aeroplanes together, which will almost certainly be for the last time as the Vulcan and the two Lancasters, but also to remember, to commemorate all those that were lost, both during the war and also through the Cold War. These two wonderful icons of British engineering getting together, and hopefully we'll be flying over the Lincolnshire Bomber Command Memorial, which really brings into sharp focus what we're doing this for, to remember those that were lost and to honour the veterans that are still here today.
Well, probably you know, three of the most famous airplanes ever built are here today. The last two flying Lancasters in the world, you know, and with the Vulcan to fly together will be a once-in-a-lifetime flight. It'll never happen again, I believe, and to be here and be part of it, to bring our Lancaster from Canada to be here to do this, and salute to all our veterans, is a very special moment for us. Well, to take off and fly with the other Lancaster, and then to have a Spitfire and Hurricane join us, and to see the shadow on the ground and to look around and see the airplane was just magical. It was all those who had gone before us were with us on our wingtips, wishing us well, and it was just a tremendous privilege to be part of that flight, to fly with the Battle of Britain Memorial flight, and also to salute our veterans in a way that nobody else could do in the world. We're giving them a salute, which why they're still here, many are still here, that can't be duplicated anywhere else in the world. Very special to us, and we're honored to be part of it, and magical. Well, we flew yesterday. We were in Humberside the last 3 days, and we flew over bomber country, over a lot of the airfields where they would have been at, the Lancaster fields in particular, like Wickensby and many others. To fly over and to think about what it was like coming back on a foggy morning looking for an airfield, and to realize there were so many airfields in such close proximity that you could probably land at the wrong one, or just get down and then figure out where you were later. But we were just thinking about those days, and thinking that what we're doing is pretty easy in comparison to what they had to do. But to fly over and to recognize where they were and the sacrifice and service that they gave to the Commonwealth, it was special for us. You know, there's only, I think, 9 or 10 current Lancaster pilots in the world today. And so my wife asked me what did I think when I checked out on the Lancaster, and I said, well, I think we've joined a club that's more exclusive than the shuttle pilots, and I'm sure we had.
It's a remarkable opportunity today to see these three iconic aircraft all together at a base where all of them served operationally. All aircraft, both Lancaster and the Vulcan, obviously designed by Roy Chadwick, and only 11 years apart in terms of their in-service date or their first flights, and yet a massive leap in technology. Within the heart of the British public, the Vulcan and the Lancaster are right up there with the Spitfire in terms of aircraft that people know, recognise and love. To fly in the Lancaster, for me it was a boyhood dream. One of my earliest memories was having a little tea party in my garden for a birthday, and the Battle of Britain Memorial flight flew over the top, and I remember that very strongly, and I think it was that which made me want to fly aircraft, particularly in the Royal Air Force. And I've been very fortunate through my career that I've been able to fly the Lancaster as a captain, and it's the culmination of a lifetime's dream, really. In terms of how it feels like to fly it, well, it's hot and it's noisy and it's sweaty and smelly, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's the senses, the fact that you're sat between four Merlin engines, the great visibility from the cockpit, and the fact that when you look out the window when you're transiting, mainly what you see is people running out of their houses and waving at you. Remarkable.
Yes, it's a very special event here today at East Kirkby, and I think I could say this rates with my favourite events. I've taken part in some special things over my time. Obviously flying the Lancaster at Coningsby as a captain, taking my dear old dad flying was very special, dropping poppies on the Queen was very special, flying over the Derwent Dam with the Lanc was very special, and I think this rates today with one of those. The only chance in my lifetime to have three Lancasters operating at the same time. It's a very, very special event. Obviously the Canadians have made an awfully big effort to get their aircraft over here, and they're cooperating with BMF, and so today we'll actually be getting three Lancasters in the same shot, and fingers crossed, serviceability and weather and things like that, but to me it's going to be a very proud day for me, and I'm very pleased that I've been able to be the pilot of Just Jane today while that event takes place.
So today we've managed to get all three operating Lancasters together, so that's our Lancaster NX611, PA474 from the BBMF and Vera from the Canadian Warplane Heritage FM213. First time in probably 50 or 60 years that these we've been able to get three Lancasters together, operating together, so a huge achievement and also something major in history, really, historic event, and to be able to do it here at East Kirkby is both excellent for the museum and for our family as well. It's been an emotional experience, really. Fred Panton and Howard Panton, who bought and owned the aircraft, Fred passed away last year, so it's just sad that he hasn't been here to see it and see his achievements realised, shall we say, with getting all three together. But it's a huge achievement for the centre, and just very happy that everyone's come to support us on the day.
It's been emotional for me, really. It's been fantastic working with such a group of professionals that are the only other people in the world that are flying this aeroplane. It's kind of sad to see them off. They've become really good friends, and it's been great to work with them for the last 6 weeks. We've had a fabulous adventure together, and to see them off was, there was a little bit of a tear in my eye as they departed and we broke away with them. So I wish them a safe journey home, and we hope to meet them again soon.